Greetings, metalheads, and welcome to No Nonsense Metal Reviews. I'm George, and I'm back with another collection update. This time it's all vinyl and it's all thrash. So I've been spending my pennies on some pretty awesome vinyl articles, different stores, different sites, but all thrash and all freaking killer albums. Well worth checking out. If you're not familiar with any of these, then get yourself acquainted. First up, we have Dallas, Texas. We have Power Trip and their debut album, Manifest Decimation. So this album, released in 2013. Here we have in vinyl form, of course. Don't actually have all that much familiarity with this album overall. Have heard it in the past. Have actually seen Power Trip live not that long ago, so I have spoken about this album fairly recently. It's actually more the second album, Nightmare Logic, that I am much more familiar with, and that is a cracking album. But this is also a brilliant album, and it has got some beastly thrashing tracks on it. I think the great thing about Power Trip is that although their short career so far has been unfortunately a bit of a tragic one, because the vocalist on this album, Riley Gale, we can see in the top corner there, sadly passed away. So gone way too young. A talented vocalist, but of course the band stepped away for a while. They did bring it back together and seen Power Trip not that long ago at the Norwich waterfront, and that was insane. They are such a groovy thrashing band, so it's not too dissimilar to that kind of mega groovy thrash that the legendary Pantera were producing. Not saying they're emulating Pantera in any way, but where every riff is freaking catchy. It's every riff is the money riff. So we've got a cool insert on here, lyrics as well. And Power Trip is just a really great band. It is just a black vinyl, so I'm not going to negotiate it out of the sleeve here. But this is a Southern Lords record. Southern Lord, I should say, issue. Just black vinyl, but some cracking tracks here. As I say, I'm not overly familiar with this one, but still some great stuff. Manifest Decimation, Heretic's Fork, a live staple of theirs, which is brilliant. Crossbreaker, which is also a live favourite. We've got the title track Power Trip as well. So really great artwork as well. Freaking brutal. It's produced by Arthur Rizk, who is a bit of a legend. And yeah, ripping stuff. Modern thrash, very groovy. Just, yeah, a great band. Certainly they're rising stars. They're doing really well for themselves, and rightfully so. We've got 2 great albums. They've got a compilation as well, and a live album, live in Seattle, which absolutely freaking rips. So check out that album, definitely. But now going back to much more familiar territory, we've got an interesting article. This is, of course, the 1985 debut album Power from Hell by the mighty Onslaught, one of the best UK thrash bands ever. And this is a new reissue courtesy of Horror, I think it's Horror Biz Records. So the interesting thing about this one, I saw it come up for pre-order, and it was pretty dirt cheap, to be fair. It was about £15-16 or something. So I thought, yeah, I'm going to take a chance on it, because I've been over the years collecting Onslaught's albums on vinyl, and of course this is a legendary debut. I do, of course, prefer the second album from '86, Metal Forces, because that is just a benchmark album. But this is also a classic. And this particular version is a red vinyl version, so I will gently get this out. Just a plain inner and just a solid red vinyl as well. So that's a pretty cool touch. That's a pretty cool effect. But it's not particularly heavyweight or anything like that. And actually, it does feel like a little bit of a budget reissue. It kind of has that vibe. So Horror Beers, I'm not sure if it is just a bit of a lower budget label, not really sure. You know, it's still a cool thing to have. Brand new, nice and new, and it's a legendary album. Of course, the title track, Onslaught Power from Hell, absolute classic. The ripping punk raw aggression of thermonuclear devastation, Skull Crusher, Lord of Evil, Death Metal, Angels of Death, Devil's Legion. You know, it's great stuff. Legendary stuff. Absolutely. Like I say, an underrated gem, really, when you consider this was 1985. Yeah, thrash wasn't exactly new, but Onslaught were absolutely ripping. Kind of a little bit under the radar, in fact. They're an underground favourite, of course, but they don't get nearly enough love. Yeah, so a limited edition on colour vinyl. It says here. Nice little sticker on there. An interesting one, though. Glad to have picked it up. Of course, recently I've been talking about Onslaught quite a lot. I think it was, well, it's actually probably quite a while ago now. Did a review on Metal Forces as a kind of pick of the day, and also recently done Onslaught as a band you need to hear. And if you're looking for critical, pioneering stuff, freaking Power from Hell, that is an album to absolutely get yourself familiar with. But I will admit, an album that I do actually prefer, shockingly enough, although this debut is very, very important. I actually think that some of the more recent albums from Onslaught, such as 6, as we have here, which was released in 2013, I feel like this is next level stuff. This is such intense, thrashing brilliance. Talk about having a great cover. That is just so thrash. Absolutely brilliant. This one is a red vinyl as well in a gatefold sleeve, courtesy of AFM Records. Nice gatefold there. Very cool. And I absolutely love this album to bits. It is so freaking good. Such an absolute ripper. Some brilliant tracks. New World Order, Chaos is King. And of course they did a live album on this run as well. And that absolutely rips as well. So just a solid red vinyl, but a very cool one. And it feels a little bit heavier duty as well. As I say, some beastly tracks. Children of the Sand, which is a great one. Slaughter Eyes, 666, Dead Man Walking, Enemy of My Enemy. Wow. This is top-notch thrash. You know, if you're not familiar with Onslaught, check out the review I did recommending them, of course. But if you are a fan of like Exodus, Slayer, Destruction, then this is stuff that you need to get yourself familiar with. Absolutely freaking rips. Love it to bits. Easily one of my favourite Onslaught albums. I think they've got such a good sound. Nige, absolute riff machine. Psy, vocals, absolute beast. Top-notch thrash. Of course, we're sticking thrash. We're sticking with underrated bands. I've always kind of felt that the brilliant Overkill don't quite get the love they deserve. They're still a well-known band, of course, but when you take albums like this one, Under the Influence, which is, I believe, the third album, I think it was 88. Yep. This is such a freaking ripper. This is such a good album. Absolute masterpiece. Now, I picked this up. This is one of a few articles that I picked up from a record store called Onion Records in Felixstowe in Suffolk, UK. And I was really chuffed to find this because it was pre-owned, but it is immaculate. There is not a crease on it. Ripping album. So pleased. And it was about £15. A really good price. Bobby Ellsworth, Bobby Blitz, brilliant vocalist. You know, there aren't that many thrash bands. I'm actually just saying that. Of course, there are other thrash bands that have great vocalists. You know, Anthrax, I'd say Joey Belladonna's a great vocalist. And there are others. Exodus, Steve and Rob, both great vocalists. So, yeah, there are other good thrash vocalists, but I would say Bobby is easily one of the best thrash vocalists around. Dee Dee Verney and his thunderous bass alongside Bobby. Absolutely ripping. guitars and Sid Flack on drums. But take tracks like Shred, Never Say Never, Hello from the Gutter, Drunken Wisdom, End of the Line, Head First, Overkill 3. Wow, freaking love it. Absolutely love it. Cool insert on this one. So this is a reissue, so it's not an original. Should also point that out. This is a reissue, BMG or Atlantic 2021. So it's been around, it's been kicking around for a few years. It is a nice heavy duty black vinyl. Does need a little wipe, I must admit. But I love this album, absolutely love this band. I think on Overkill are next level stuff. So freaking good. And this is one of my favourites. I think the first two albums are brilliant. They're kind of not as thrashing as this album and what comes after. They're a bit more rooted in the heavy metal, new album influence stuff there, but this absolutely rips. This is just breakneck freaking brilliance. Overkill, Under the Influence. So glad to have found that, as I say. Sticking with US thrash then. Sticking with another band that I just absolutely adore at the minute. Really grown on me over the years. For a long time, I really wasn't all that, taken with Exodus. I just felt like, yeah, it's good, solid thrash, but maybe didn't quite appreciate just how brilliant a band Exodus are, because they really are a fantastic band. And this album, I can't quite remember chronologically which one it is. I think it was album number 7. I think it was released in the early 2000s. Shame on me. This is Shovel-Headed Kill Machine, which has a beast of an artwork. Great cover. It's a double vinyl reissue from 2025, courtesy of Nuclear Blast Records, on, yet again, red. Red vinyl seems to be the thing for thrash reissues of late. This album, of course, features Rob Dukes on vocals, and I've actually really come to appreciate just how great a vocalist Rob is. I've recently shown off quite a few Exodus albums on vinyl, in fact, in my collection updates. So I've now got both parts A and B of Exhibit. So Exhibit A, which is an absolute beast of an album, picked that up not that long ago, and then obviously Exhibit B as well. So he's actually done quite a few albums with the band, Rob, and I think personally I do still slightly prefer Steve Cetro Sousa's vocals, still just slightly, but I would say that Rob he's a freaking great vocalist, absolute beast. And there are some killer tracks on this album. Can honestly say that this has risen in my estimation so enormously and has become one of my favourite Exodus albums. I can't believe how good it is. Death Amphetamine, Shudder to Think, I Am Abomination, Altered Boy, Now Thy Death Day Come, 44 Magnum Opus. You know what? This is just an absolute beast. And it's a lovely one. And I got this on, shame on me, Amazon, and it was about 16 quid or something like that. It was a really good price. And love it. Do not regret it one little bit. We've got lineup here. Gary Holt, one of the best thrash guitarists ever. Paul Bostaff on drums, just an absolute drumming machine. Jack Gibson on bass, and Lee Altus is also a freaking amazing guitarist. This is one of the best Bay Area thrash bands, easily. They've really grown on me over the years, as I say. Exhibit A and B are just amazing albums. Really been getting into them recently. We've also got some more albums of recent times, of course, which have been of excellent quality, but just revisiting some of this kind of earlier 2000s work, it's freaking great. The classic stuff from the 80s and into 90s, brilliant, of course, but this, amazing. Shovel-Headed Kill Machine rips. Okay, so we're leaving the US alone now, and we are hopping over to Germany to another absolute thrash haven. And what we've got here is an album that I have talked about quite a bit. I still consider Tapping the Vein, the 5th album from Sodom, mighty Sodom, to be an underrated gem. It's recently been getting a lot of love because of this reissue, remaster, redux version, courtesy of Noise BMG. And I came across this. So I recently was talking about this album as an underrated one, and I was showing off the CD, triple disc CD format that you can get off this album. I think I even mentioned in that review that you can get various different vinyl versions. It wasn't too long after that I stumbled upon this standard version. It was still quite expensive, but over time just went down in price, and I picked this up. I can't actually remember how much it was, but it was a really good deal. It is a double vinyl gatefold, and if you were to take a guess at what colour this vinyl is, considering the other thrash vinyl reissues that we've had so far, you'd probably think it could be red. Well, you would of course be correct. We have yet another awesome red vinyl. This one is really nice. It's sort of like a transparent red. Very cool. And what's even cool about this one is that you get, as you do with the CD format, and I think there's like a really lavish, expanded triple vinyl and CD version, but you get the 2024 remastered version of the album, which sounds phenomenal, and you also get the redux version, which is really cool. You know, it's one for the fans, definitely, but both versions sound great. They kind of bring a new light and life to the album in a big way, actually, a really big way. And I love this album. It's one of my favourite Sodom albums, one of my favourite thrash albums. It's amazing. It's an absolute masterpiece. Body Parts, Skinned Alive, One Step Over the Line, Bullet in the Head. We've got the Vactum, kind of punky number. Title track, Back to War, Hunting Season, Reincarnation. This album is so freaking good. If you're not familiar with Tapping the Vein, this is an album you absolutely need to get acquainted with. In both formats, you know, Redux and Remaster, it sounds incredible. There's Tom Angel Ripper and company. Just freaking brilliant. Absolutely love it. Released in 92, I believe. This is just an absolutely amazing album. Heavy, dark, dirgy, so freaking good, Dave. We've got Tapping the Vein by the mighty Sodom. Won't go into too much detail about that one, but a really cool article. Really nice, high quality. So if you've been questioning, umming and ahhing about picking up the new reissue version of Tapping the Vein on vinyl, do it. It's really very much worth it. Last but certainly not least, we're sticking with Germany and a little ditty, a little unknown album you may never have heard of, Pleasure to Kill, from the mighty thrash masters Kreator. So again, this is German legendary thrash band, a legendary album. This is another one of my all-time favourite bands and thrash albums. Freaking love it. Pleasure to Kill is the second full length from Kreator after Endless Pain, which is an amazing album as well. But Pleasure to Kill was released in, I think it was 86. Pioneering. Absolutely merciless album. Love it. I've had a CD copy for many years. To be honest, Kreator were one of the first thrash bands I really got into in a big way. And it's just the sheer energy and the whole thing. That album has such magic. Absolutely love it. And I stumbled upon this version. So it was about 20 quid, I think it was, 1999, in Onion vinyl. And there was no question. Snapped it up. Pleasure to Kill remastered. So this is BMG Noise again from 2017. So it's original album remastered with bonus tracks. Double vinyl, 180 grams. It feels heavy. It's heavy duty. Gatefold. And it's a really nice piece, this. Talk about classic albums. Just amazing. Ripping Corpse. Death is Your Saviour, title track, of course, Riot of Violence, The Pestilence, which is one of my favourite tracks from the album, Command of the Blade and Under the Guillotine. But what's even cooler is that it's not just bonus tracks, it's the full Flag of Hate EP as a bonus on another disc. So you've got Flag of Hate, Take Their Lives, and The Mighty Awakening of the Gods. Love it. So I think it's kind of understating, you know, it's bonus tracks, of course it is, but it's legendary bonus tracks, in fact. So we've got cool printed lyric inners with a bit of bio as well from Millie Petrosa, vocalist, guitarist. Just heavy duty black vinyl, but really nice. Awesome little stickers on the inside there, and it's just so good. I'm so pleased to have found this. Really like the little touch there on the insert where you've got old tour posters and a tape copy, picture of a tape copy of Pleasure to Kill. I'll just show off the other insert as well. There we are. So freaking good. This is it's an album that every metalhead, every thrash fan needs to have this in their collection. It's an essential. It's like a rite of passage. You know, you just gotta have Pleasure to Kill. Amazing. Freaking love it. The whole thing, amazing stuff. Kreator, Pleasure to Kill, one of the best thrash albums ever. It's kind of like got the danger and the aggression of Slayer, the speed of Metallica, but it just turns up the evil, turns up the intensity and the spite to 11. It's freaking brilliant. So there we have it, a run through of my latest thrash vinyl updates. So just to remind, we had Power Trip with Manifest Decimation, a great band, a truly brilliant band. Only a couple of albums, but they've done really well for themselves with just those few releases. Onslaught, Power from Hell, the legendary 1985 debut, legendary band, criminally underrated. Absolutely adore them though. With 6 as well, which is just such a freaking beast of an album. Love it. Under the Influence, amazing. Overkill, Legends. Exodus with Shovel-Headed Kill Machine, an absolutely monstrous, dangerously heavy album. Sodom, Tapping the Vein, pure evil. Angel Ripper, what a legend. And Kreator, Pleasure to Kill. Love it to bits. So my friends, what are your thoughts and opinions on these bands, on these albums? Do you have these in your collection? Let me know. Do you have other versions? What are your thoughts on these versions? Let me know. Interested to hear thoughts and opinions of others as always. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this humble collection update. Feel free to like, subscribe, share, comment. Support is always greatly appreciated. Do check back soon for more reviews and recommendations of all the good, heavy things. Until next time, do take care of yourselves, my friends. Thrash till freaking death and stay heavy.